அதிசயங்கள் செய்கிறவர் நம் அருகில் இருக்கிறார். அற்புதங்கள் செய்கிறவர் என்றும் நமக்குள் வசிக்கிறார்.
2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 10. For some say his letters are weighty and forceful, but in person he is unimpressive and his speaking amounts to nothing. Apostle Paul suffered sickness in his lifetime. He had a devastating disease and yet he pushed through it. With that sickness and weakness, he traveled throughout Asia Minor and half of Europe to preach the gospel. Those days, as we know, there wasn't any vehicle to commute. But still the distance Paul walked for the sake of gospel is almost 6,000 miles. Not that just. He also sailed through the sea for thousands of miles. In some places he would mention some of the sufferings he went through during those sails. It would be distressing to hear. There is no way we could fully comprehend Paul's sufferings. Many thousands of miles he sailed in the sea. He was in a shipwreck. We can only imagine how great of a suffering Paul would have gone through. Apostle Paul was a great man of God who served the Lord faithfully amidst great suffering and weaknesses. Also in 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 7, he talks about a thorn in his flesh. He describes it as a messenger of Satan. Don't think that it's a prick that we feel when we run into a thorn. In the Greek language, this word thorn in this context refers to a pain that is very gruesome and unbearable. So whatever sickness Paul had was tormenting, devastating, and cruel that would shrink a human being. In spite of all these weaknesses, pain and sickness, he never ceased to do the Lord's work even for a day. Until his last breath, he served the Lord. He didn't allow the sickness and weakness to overpower him. Instead, with God's grace and power, he won over the sickness victoriously. You may be with some sickness and weakness in your body. You may have taken a step back in everything because of that, but if you want to do great and mighty things for the Lord, you must not be discouraged by such sickness and weakness. Today, be encouraged, be strengthened, and rise and shine for the Lord. When you take the first step, when you are willingly starting your journey amidst everything, the Lord will carry you forward. Lord will use everyone who is listening to this. He will not leave you orphans in the middle of your suffering and pain. Lord's hand will always hold you. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! God bless you.